Hi, I'm Don Brominski, co-chair of the Institute's Energy Task Force. This year's study is a primer on RGGI, the Regional Greenhouse Gas Initiative. RGGI is a cooperative effort of 11 northeastern states to curb emissions from electricity production. It is a cap-and-trade style program that sets a regional CO2 emissions cap. For regulated fossil fuel power plants with a capacity of 25 megawatts or greater, CO2 allowances must be purchased through a quarterly auction process. As a result, the market sets the price for regulated power generators per ton of CO2 emitted. The Pennsylvania State Legislature is currently evaluating whether or not to participate in RGGI. Shifting energy production to non-fossil fuel energy sources such as nuclear and renewables has been emphasized by policymakers and business leaders alike in order to mitigate greenhouse gas emissions. Human activities are the primary drivers of increasing greenhouse gases in the atmosphere, and the largest human source of greenhouse gases in the United States is the use of fossil fuels for electricity, heat, and transportation. Reducing and managing greenhouse gas emissions is critical in addressing the threats posed by global climate change. There are significant challenges in estimating the impacts of RGGI on states that have participated so far, including the complexity of factors affecting greenhouse gas emissions and state-specific policies that may complement or counteract the aims of RGGI. Studies cited in a 2019 review by the Congressional Research Service found that RGGI as a whole, including the cap, sale of allowances, pricing structure, and reinvestment of auction proceeds, was the primary driver of observed CO2 emissions decreases in the participating states, and that associated air quality improvements led to public health benefits. Nonetheless, the effects of emissions from these states are very small on the scale of global greenhouse gas accumulations. One potential area of impact is a decline in economic activity in fossil fuel electricity generation, the industry most directly impacted by added costs due to RGGI. Data from Bureau of Labor Statistics on industry employment since 2015, shortly after RGGI's cap was adjusted down to current levels, shows mixed results. Virginia and New York both saw employment declines over 40%. While Massachusetts saw a significant growth in the sector. Others saw relatively small changes. Across the 7 RGGI states with complete data available, there is a 4% decline in jobs in the industry. At the time of this taping, the Pennsylvania Independent Fiscal Office released their impact report. The IFO analysis confirmed that the recent surge in the market clearing price for allowances in RGGI auctions are not accounted for in prior modeling done by the state, leaving ongoing questions on how the current market volatility may change RGGI's impact on Pennsylvania. Therefore, it is difficult to estimate potential climate gains, energy industry job loss, economic impact, and energy cost changes that might occur if it were implemented in Pennsylvania. Hours before this taping, we learned that Commonwealth Court blocked the official publication of the regulation that would require fossil fuel power plants to pay a price for every ton of carbon dioxide they emit, pending further order of the court. This is one part of the state's plan to fight climate change. Ultimately, there is evidence that RGGI may be helpful in reducing greenhouse gas emissions from electric power generation. However, there is less clarity on the full scope of the downstream economic effects and their potential impacts, positive and negative, in Pennsylvania. A related question is to what extent with growth in renewable energy, including growth funded through reinvestment of auction proceeds, will offset any potential job losses in fossil fuel electricity generation. Complicating this question is the likelihood that RGGI will not only incentivize shifts from fossil fuel to non-fossil fuel electricity sources, but shifts from more carbon-intensive to less carbon-intensive ones, such as from coal to natural gas. As a result of RGGI, job losses in fossil fuel power generation are possible, though experiences of states already in RGGI have varied widely. There are federal, state, and local policy opportunities to create safety nets and retraining opportunities for workers who may be displaced by RGGI. These programs must be multi-stakeholder efforts that bring together public assistance agencies, the education and workforce development community, and private employers. This work should ideally begin before any worker displacement. For the foreseeable future, Pennsylvania has more job opportunities in all industries at all levels to help offset any displacements. Finally, it is noteworthy that the current economic environment has key instabilities, including COVID-19 factors, high inflation, and the impact of global events on energy prices. Given these uncertainties and the spike in the market clearing price for CO2 allowances under RGGI make predicting the impact of RGGI on Pennsylvania even more difficult at this time. The mission of this task force is to strategically plan and promote energy resources that support the environment, sustainable economic development, and regional economic impact. Your participation today helps us fulfill this meaningful objective. Thank you.